Easy people, welcome back to my channel at Big Steve MCFC. Just a little stream, keep us ticking over for the summer. Football is finished. It's boring. We're having to go shopping with the missus, think about birthday parties. People want new beds. Can you fix this? The living room needs painting. All that nonsense I've got to deal with now. The football's over. All that nonsense I can just push to the back of my mind and say, I can't do it this week, City's playing. I can't do it this weekend because I've got to travel here. I've got no excuse. So my head's getting a bit peppered with it. I thought, you know what? There must be thousands of people in the same boat, coming home from work at night, putting on Sky Sports News, seeing if we'd signed anyone, seeing if there's any news relevance to Man City. And I thought, yeah, let's do a video. Let's talk to people, see how they're feeling. It's been a couple of weeks since Istanbul. Champions of Europe. Yeah, makes me smile every time. Treble winners. Can't get it out of my mind. The hatred and the vile jealousy online has sort of calmed down a bit now once they've realised that, you know, Big Dave in his bedroom telling everyone that Man City have cheated 115 times isn't going to make UEFA give Man City, you know, a ban, and it's not going to take the UEFA, the European Cup off us. So I think people are realising now that they're wasting the breath. But there's been some transfer news this week. The biggest one of them all for us, Ilkay Gundogan, captain, leader, legend, European Cup winner, treble winner, has decided to leave. He's decided that he wants to go to Barcelona. You know, it is what it is. After what he's done this season, it's still raw. We're still in Gundogan. We're still, like, wrapped up in it. You know what I mean? So it hurts. When you take a step away from it, realise that he is probably getting on towards the end of his career. Manchester City are notorious for dropping players late in the career and freshening it up. If they'd have given him another year, there would have been nobody more happier than me. But I was on the fence with it. He's decided to go on to pastures new. He's decided to go Barcelona, different lifestyle, Mediterranean. Go and float about in your pool after training, Gundo. You know you deserve it for what you did here. You're a Man City legend. I just wish he'd have come out probably at the Champions League final and said that's what he was doing, so people in the parade could have given him a proper send-off. Whether City have got anything planned for him for a send-off, I don't know. But the fans really would like to say goodbye to him. Yeah, he was Pep's first signing, 20 million quid. He arrived on crutches. You know, he's not always been as popular as he was, you know, but he's always been steady. He's give this club no ounce of grief. He's always been influential in the dressing room, and he's always turned up at the vital times with important goals and important moments. So Ilkay Gundogan is just another legend in this list of legends that we're creating every year. You know, rival fans say, you've got no legends. So it's like, but listen, mate, we're creating legends, like serious legends, treble-winning legends, European Cup winning legends. So, you know, don't focus too much on what Man City are doing with our legends, because we're creating some, we're running out of space for statues. Let's put it that way. We're running out of space for statues. I hope that Khaldoon's going to build, you know, that car park they're going to build behind the Colin Bell. You might as well just have to scrap that, mate. Just scrap it. Get it reinforced, concrete. Get some, you know, some steel in the ground, and let's get some pods made ready for the Haaland statue and the Diaz statue. You know what I mean? The Sergio Gomez statue. So, you know what I mean? Anything's possible. Scott Carson, give him a statue. Why not? You know what I mean? It is what it is, people. But yeah, Gundogan, I was sat there with mixed emotions. I was a bit sad. Then I was a bit happy for him. Then I thought, you know what? If we're letting Gundogan go, there's going to be the gap. We're going to definitely fill it with somebody. Which brings me on to our next bit of transfer news. Declan Rice. I think a lot of people thought Declan was on his way to Arsenal. I think the vibes we were getting end of last season was he fancied the Arsenal move. And then I think it's being reported in Italy this morning, Di Marzio, that Man City are in there. I did see a podcast with Sam Allardyce, and he mentioned it. He reckons he's going Man City, and maybe Calvin Phillips is going the other way. But when I spoke to Calvin at the party, he seemed convinced he was coming back to City and he was going to knuckle down and this was going to be his season. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, would I take Declan Rice? 100%. I think he's a great player. He's young. He's hungry. He's served his apprenticeship at West Ham. He's just won a trophy for them. I think he comes to Man City and he can take it up a gear, you know. He can drive from midfield. He can turn himself into that box-to-box midfielder. I think at West Ham, the shackles are on him a little bit. I think he's sort of the enforcer, side to side, keeps it calm. I think at City with Rodri there, I think he can push on. I think he can drive from midfield. I think he can drag the game by the scruff of the neck and get involved in it. I'll be very intrigued to see how that goes down, whether Calvin Phillips is involved in the deal or whether it's straight cash. We've already 99.9% signed Kovacic from Chelsea, which I think is a great signing for the money. 25 million. He's won 4 European Cups, I think. He's definitely a winner. I think he's gone a bit stale at Chelsea. So I think Pep Guardiola gets hold of him, gets a bit of rejuvenation into him, you know, can get the buzz back in his bones. I think we might have signed a player. I think Pep knows how to get the best out of players, and I think he's fancied Kovacic for a while. But yeah, the midfield looks like it's going to have a different feel to it. Kovacic, Phillips, Rodri, Rice, De Bruyne. We don't know about Bernardo yet. That moves me on to Bernardo. I think Bernardo Silva, again, same every season. He seems to want to go. Nobody seems to want to pay the money. He ends up staying, has a great season. I mean, it's puzzling with Bernardo because the fans love him. We all love him. And he seems to love the club. Every time he scores a goal or somebody scores, you watch his little face and he's running around like a madman. You know what I mean? He's running around like a puppy in the kitchen chasing a ball. He's that happy. And then we get the news he's not happy. I just wish sometimes he'd come out and say, look, you know, I've been in Manchester City for so many years. I've won so many titles. I fancy a different league and a challenge and I want to go. But I can't lie. A player like Bernardo Silva, if he leaves and goes to the Saudi league, doesn't sit well with me there. We know that league's shit. It's piss poor. Ronaldo's out there doing what he wants. It's crap. They might have the money. They're bringing in they seem to be bringing in rejects from across Europe into the Saudi league to try and get it pumped up. I think the English clubs are buzzing with it because the money that they're getting offered for these rejects is fantastic. But Bernardo Silva is in the prime of his career. He ain't no reject. He's a Champions League winner and a treble winner. And he should, if he wants to move on, move on. You want to go to Paris Saint-Germain, go there. You want to go back to Portugal, Benfica, or whatever you want to do, go there. You even want to go Real Madrid, go there. Not Saudi Arabia. I think you're better than that, Bernardo. I don't want to see him go. I think he's brilliant. I think he's important. But, you know, there's murmurs about it again. But we've seen it all before, Blues. We've just got to be relaxed. I mean, what do you guys think? Leave me a message in the comments. Would you be happy to see Bernardo go Saudi Arabia, then he's not in Europe and he can't affect us? Or would you want to go and see him somewhere else and take his career to the next level? Or would you want to keep Bernardo? Or is it time for Bernardo to go? We've heard too many rumblings over the past 3 years now. Are you sick of it? Should we just let him go? Leave a comment. Let me know. The next one I wanted to touch on was Aymeric Laporte. Been very quiet on the Laporte front. Really, really quiet. The rumour is we're going after Guardiola. I can see why. He suits what we need. Left-sided. Can play left-back, centre-back. Laporte's body language and the way he was at the end of the season, you could tell he wasn't 100% with it. I don't think he felt part of it. But Aymeric Laporte's a great player. And anyone that thinks they're getting Aymeric Laporte on the cheap, then it's not happening. You know, if people are going for daft money, then Laporte's got to go for daft money because he's a quality player. If he goes to a Newcastle, if he goes to an Arsenal, you know, if he goes to a team that's just simmering, an Aston Villa or someone who can break the bank and get him, I think he takes them up a level. I think he's that good of a player, Laporte. There's talk about going to Spain, but Barcelona are linked again. But have they got the dough? But could Gundogan sway him over there? Could they get players out? Could they make it happen? I don't know. Real Madrid, could they make it happen? They've got Rudiger, and they've been playing Alaba at the back. Militao. I think Laporte's better than all of them. So be interesting. Be interesting to see. There's also been talk, Blues, about Riyad Mahrez. Talk about Saudi money for Mahrez. I mean, I talked about this last week. Is it time for Riyad to go? Is it time for Riyad to go and play week in and week out? Do we cash in? Do we get a young up-and-coming winger? Do we get Carlos Borges from the youth team? Do we bring him in? Foden's obviously going to play central more this season. You know, but if you lose Bernardo and Mahrez and Foden central, you've got no one on the right. So, I don't know. It's a tough one. I think once the players have been on holiday this next couple of weeks, some players will go on private training programs and come back and try and get fit early. And I think that's when you'll start seeing movement. And it'll probably take one big deal to get the transfer market going again. But it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting. There's a few rumours about the youngsters. Cole Palmer. There's talk about him going maybe Dortmund. We know Dortmund's a good place for English youngsters to go and thrive. They get game time. They're playing in front of them great fans. Dortmund came second to Bayern Munich last year. So I, for one, would love Cole Palmer to go to Borussia Dortmund on loan, see how he does for a season. Some City fans are talking about Burnley, whether Pep would let him go to Burnley, whether Vincent could keep an eye on him. He's local as well. He doesn't have to move from Manchester. He can get to Burnley in half an hour. So that could be an option. Mcfc and Doyle, they're coming back off loan spells from Sheffield United. Are they good enough for the Man City first team? I can't see it. I don't think so. I just don't see where Tommy Doyle gets in the midfield, and I don't see where Mcfc gets in. I believe that they might be sold. Delap definitely be sold. His loan spells have not been any good. I don't think any teams wanted to keep him. So, you know, there's Mbite, the centre-back. He's been passed around. It's, you know, it's all right playing well in the EDS. It's all right scoring 20, 30 goals in the EDS, but the step up from EDS to Manchester City elite level is massive. So it's not saying they're bad players. We're not saying they're not good enough for the Premier League. They're just not good enough for us as a football club, and that's just facts. So I think there'll be a lot of money made on youngsters. One little bit of positive news is the under-23 manager, Maresca. Well, he was under-23s, then he was Pep's assistant. He's now the new Leicester City boss. So I think he's already spoke about tapping into Man City's youth system, getting players he knows. That could be a great nurturing ground for some of our talent. The manager they've worked under before, they trust him. He knows Pep. He knows what Pep wants. I think you've got like Diram Maboud, the striker that came from Rangers, the young kid. Just had a great season in the EDS. Maybe it's time for him to get league football. Carlos Borges, winger, 23, 24 goals, player of the season in the Premier League 2. He needs to step it up now. He came on against Girona in a friendly, looked lively, but you know, sometimes he looked a bit off the ball for me, defending wise. I think a season in the Championship for Carlos Borges would make or break him. There's talk about Forest maybe buying him for 12 million with a sell-on. I prefer to keep him. I prefer to send him to Leicester for the season. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on. Not a lot officially happening. A lot of hearsay and rumours, but you know, it is what it is. It's going to be a big summer for us as a football club. With the treble winners and champions of Europe, we've got to kick on. We've got to freshen this squad up and keep it rolling. We've got to get the hunger back in the team. We can't let players rest on the laurels and think they've done it all. because that's when we get cold and switch off. And before we know it, we're out of the title race. We've got to make sure we start this season on point. We've got to make sure we've got the players in and we've got the depth to go in every competition again. Just like to say I'm about 18,500 followers now, maybe nearly 19,000. The first big milestone in any YouTube channel is 20K. If we can get to 20K over the summer, I'd be delighted, and we'll do a giveaway. We've just got to 43,000, I think, on Instagram. So there's a lot of you guys that follow me on Instagram that don't follow me on here. If you know somebody that does that, kick them up the arse. Say, Big Steve needs your support. Saeed, the Man United fan, my mate, has got more followers than me on YouTube. I know he does more videos than me, but come on. I want quality Man City followers, and quality followers that don't support Man City but like to get involved in my conversations and listen to us and support us and be good. You're more than welcome. Just want to have a big shout out to Ballers Champagne. Spoke to you about Ballers before. They've made a limited edition Champions Champagne, and they've also done a limited edition Treble Winners Champagne. www.ballerschampagne.com. Make sure you're over 18. But if you're looking for a gift for anybody, a birthday, a present, you're looking for that Man City fan in your life who got you watching City and you're buzzing that you've won the European Cup and you want to thank him, get on the Ballers, get the champagne, beautiful bottle, nice plaque on it. There you go. That's for getting me to be a Man City fan, Dad, Grandad, Nano, Auntie. There you go, Ballers Champagne. Big up to them. They've looked after me, and we've given some champagne away on the Instagram, and yeah, we've kept it rolling. But anyway, people, let me know what other videos you'd like to see. I think Monday night we're doing a video with Stuart from the Paris Saint-Germain channel. We're going to talk about Manchester City's ownership model, Paris Saint-Germain's ownership model, both Middle Eastern, both very rich owners, but totally different pathways they've gone down. We're going to talk about that. And then we've got the Mancunian Way, Martin from the Mancunian Way. I'm going to do a show with Martin next week. We're going to talk about the season, how long he's been a City fan, talk about Main Road, a few things back in the day, anything like that. Anything you suggest, please get them in the comments. And yeah, I'd just like to appreciate everybody that's still interacting with me, everyone that's followed my journey this season, everyone that's took my channel to the next level. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great weekend. Up the Blues. Keep giving the three fingers. Yeah, to all them haters out there. And remember, have you ever done a treble? Have you? See you next time. Come on, City.